What's up, internet comic book fam, and welcome back to a new video. It's that time of week again where we come together to take a look at all the best and worst covers of the week hitting your local comic book shelves on this new comic book day, Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. Where did 2025 go? I don't know. I can't believe we're already in September. I can't believe the year is just about done. It feels like it went through in a blink of an eye. But we're here to go over our best and worst covers of the week. So what do you say we get into that? And as always, we're going to start with our top 5 from best and worst from DC, Marvel, and Independence. Now, kicking us off this week from DC, we coming to you at the number 5 spot via this absolute Green Lantern Janoy Lindsay A cover. Every once in a while, we pick an A cover because the A cover just kind of shines above the rest. And that's no exception here. You have Joe Mullins perfectly represented here with Hal Jordan, kind of that good and evil, yin and yang type situation here. Beautiful cover. It is a better cover, in my opinion, than most of the variants and ratios. So sometimes it's always better just to save that extra dollar when it comes to these books and just go with the A cover versus that ratio variant. Up next at number 4, we have this cover D Raza variant on Adventures of Superman Book of L number 1. I feel like this cover is a beautiful, perfect representation of Superman. You have him floating in space, looking very super, sitting in front of the red sun, powering up, looking like he's ready and waiting to go back into battle. It's a beautiful cover, a beautiful Raza cover, and definitely a book that's worth picking up if you're picking up this Adventures of Superman Book of L number 1. Coming in at number 3, we have Poison Ivy 36 and this beautiful cover C Q Young Eum variant on Poison Ivy. Look at Poison Ivy sitting there looking absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful, very seductive. Just, I love the use of the greens as she's coming out of a Venus flytrap with that body wrapped in vines down there showing her latest victim. It is a strong, sexy, elegant, and beautiful representation of Poison Ivy standing there in all her glory as like the moonlight or the sunlight or whatever it is shines down on her to really highlight all of her essence and assets. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Poison Ivy cover at number 3. Coming in number 2, we have this cover C Gabriel Del Otto Gotham variant on Batgirl 11. Cassie Kang looking confident, looking strong, looking powerful, looking defiant, looking like she's ready to bust some heads and crime in Gotham. Gabriel Del Otto perfectly captures his character's power and strength and representation. I love the use of the blacks, the reds, with the yellow silhouette of the bat on the chest. Beautiful cover, a beautiful Gabriel Del Otto. Like I was saying, I believe on Saturday Night Special this week, Gabriel Del Otto and Lee Bermejo. Gabriel Del Otto and Lee Bermejo have been absolutely killing it on covers this year. They are neck and neck for my 2 cover artists of the year, have been doing some beautiful work, and here is a perfect example of that from Gabriel Del Otto. But I feel like this might not be the only representation from Gabriel Del Otto on the top 5 in DC this week. And of course, coming in at number 1, we have this cover F Gabriel Del Otto connecting variant for the new Batman number 1 written by Matt Fraction. That's right. This is the week that we are getting a whole new creative team on the Batman title. We're getting a relaunch with Batman number 1. You've got a bunch of covers for Batman number 1. You got blind backs for Batman number 1. Whatever you want or need, it's here for Batman number 1. And this Gabriel Del Otto cover F does not disappoint. There are some beautiful store variants for this book. There's just a lot to offer here from these Batman covers. It was hard to choose, but I love this Batman from Gabriel Del Otto. I love the use of the blue, the kind of representing that new costume that Matt Fraction is debuting, kind of going back to that Neil Adams-esque Batman blue. Beautiful. I love the use of the bats, kind of shadowy bats in the background, with Wayne Manor kind of back there as Batman is ready for battle. Beautiful cover, beautiful Del Otto. I can't wait to pick this up this week and dive headfirst into this new number 1 with this new creative team, as I love Matt Fraction, and I can't wait to see what Matt Fraction is going to do with Batman moving forward. Coming in at number 5 for our worst covers of the week, we have this Gilliam March variant cover C on Chitara. This cover here, it's not that it's that bad. It's that I don't like kind of how the color wash is. how it kind of the use of the colors and the brightness here. It's almost like the brightness is turned up to 11. It kind of feels like it washes the characters out a little bit. It's just not that great. If you toned down the colors and made them a little bit more vibrant, I think it would make this cover a lot better. But I feel like the use of the light and the oversaturation kind of drowns out this image and just doesn't make it that great. Coming in at number 4, we have this Cover E Frank Quietly variant on that all-new Batman #1 coming from Matt Fraction. I feel like this is just a dude cosplaying Batman. I don't really feel like this is giving Batman vibes. This kind of feels more to me like Batman the 70s version here, where he's not all ripped out, he's not all muscular. He's just kind of a dude in a Batman suit. And like I said, it gives me a lot of cosplay vibes here. I feel like compared to all the other offerings that come here, it's very Adam Westy, and all the other offerings that come on this cover are much, much better and really entice you to want to pick up the book and give this new #1 a chance. And I mean, as Batman, I think everyone's going to do that anyway, but this cover doesn't really do it any justice or give it any support in making you want to pick it up as some of the other covers like that Gabriel Auto do. At number 3, we have Absolute Superman #11, this Cover B Jay Lee variant. And it's not that this cover's that bad, but sometimes Jay Lee stuff just doesn't sit well with me. I understand the cape and all that, and it kind of blends in the background, giving it that negative space feel as he's kind of just getting hit in the back of the head with a Death to Superman missile, it looks like. Just the confused look on his face. I don't know. Just overall, like I said, sometimes Jay Lee's stuff works for me. Sometimes it doesn't. Lately, it really hasn't. And this Superman is one of those that I feel like it just doesn't work. Like this hand here, I don't know what that's all about. It kind of looks more like a melted blob of goo, or like he pulled hair out of the drain instead of a Superman hand. I just feel like this cover's a miss for me. So it made its way to my worst covers of the week this week at the number 3 spot. And coming in at a number 2 spot for the worst covers of the week from DC, we have Resurrection Man Quantum Karma #6. This Cover B Evan Kegel variant. I don't know what's going on here with this cover. I don't feel like this cover represents this book. I don't feel like it gives me a good story of what's going on in the interiors. It's very confusing. It's not really eye-catching. It's one that's not going to really drive me to want to pick up this book, especially with it being a DC Black Label, and you're probably going to pay a little bit higher premium for it in that premium format that most Black Label books seem to be. I just think it's not doing itself any favors, so it's not going to help me pick up this book. It's not going to draw reader interest, so I just feel like it's a cover that isn't very good this week. And coming in at number 1 for the worst covers of the week from DC, we have this Cover C Riccardo Federici variant. I'm not a fan of this cover because why is the focal point Superman's crotch? Why are we looking at Super Dong? He's in that superhero pose. That's great, but we want to see a zoomed out version of it so we get the full representation of Superman. Your book title is Adventures of Superman, Book of L. Superman is your focal point. Why don't you zoom that out a little bit and give us Superman in that full pose in all of his glory with maybe a cool background? Why do we have to have such a super zoomed in focused on his chest and his crotch while what you want to see, the top half of Superman, is cut off? It's just a weird style. It's a weird choice for a Cover C. It's a weird variant. It should, like I said, zoom it out, give us a cool background, and give us the full character, which is why we buy the book. I don't know if anyone's buying this book for a super zoomed in shot of Superman's pelvic region. All right, that's it for DC. Now we're going to get in and talk Marvel. We're going to talk our best and worst covers of the week for Marvel. And kicking us off at the number 5 spot for the best covers of the week from Marvel, we have this George Farnes variant on Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu #12. I love this variant. I love the use of the black and white skulls in the background, the kind of negative space of the Moon Knight with Khonshu's face coming through it with that black silhouette of like that old farmhouse or that old manor down below. It's creepy, it's intriguing, it's eye-catching. It's a cover that makes you want to pick it up and see what's going on in the interiors of the book. I love it. I think it's a great cover here at the number 5 spot. Coming in at number 4, we have Wolverine 13, this 1 in 50 Mark Brooks Virgin variant. I believe there's a trade dress of this as well, but I just love the representation here of that classic Weapon X as he makes his way and leaves that path of blood and destruction behind him from the Weapon X facility. It's the Weapon X we come to know. It's a version of Wolverine we've come to know and love, and I feel like this is a beautiful variant cover, especially this 1 in 50 on this Wolverine 13 this week. Coming in at number 3, we have Star Wars Legacy of Vader, number 8, this 1 in 25 Kale Young variant. I absolutely love this, even if Kylo Ren's mask does kind of look like someone just took an x-ray of a pelvis. As you can see, like kind of like the hips, pelvic region there. I don't think I really need to break it down and explain it to you, but his mask looks like the x-ray of a pelvis. And other than that, I just love kind of like the character in front as she's sitting there ready to take you down with her lightsaber or hold you at lightsaber point, if you will. I have heard some comparisons to Iron Man in the mask here a little bit, and that kind of draws some people away from it, but not me. I think it's great. I love the Kylo Ren in the background, kind of overlooking this new character. I can't wait to find out more about this book from my friends over on Renovision on Sunday nights from Tales from the Dark Side. Hopefully give us a little bit more insight on this character and what's going on in this Vader Legacy book. But it is a beautiful cover nonetheless, and I think it would be a great addition to any Star Wars fans' Star Wars comic book collection. Coming in at number 2, we have this 1 in 50 Izuku Venom Virgin variant. We all know that Venom and Mary Jane are now one. They have this relationship going on. I think this is a great cover. The representation coming out of Mary Jane coming out of Venom, like we've seen her do so many times. Pause, I guess, where she kind of comes out through that midsection and she's kind of giving you that seductive little, finger wave of "come here, tiger, come get you some," with Venom looking strong and powerful right behind her. Pause. It's a beautiful cover, a beautiful Mary Jane cover, and I'm probably going to pick this one up on this book this week. But I believe there's also a trade dress of this, so I'll probably pick that one up versus the 1 in 50. But this is a beautiful cover nonetheless. And coming in at number 1, we talked about him a little while ago. I said this is the summer of Bermejo, and this cover is no exception. An Amazing Spider-Man 11, 1 in 100 Lee Bermejo Spider-Man Visions Virgin variant. There's also a trade dress of this, which is the one I'll probably pick up. But I do love this book without the trade dress. I love the representation of Spider-Man in the front with that web kind of connecting all of his past in the background. It's a beautiful cover. Lee Bermejo has absolutely been killing it on comic book covers this week. Like I said, or this year even. Like I said, him and Del absolutely crushing it. I did get a spoiler on this, which I'm not going to give you here. I do know who this version of Spider-Man is. And if you remember from issue 10, we got that kind of cliffhanger where Spider-Man and Peter Parker are meeting face to face. And I understand that in issue 11, we're going to find out both who that Peter Parker is and who that Spider-Man is, because they are not one and the same. And I think it's a very interesting take, and it kind of explains how, as we learned from San Diego Comic-Con, I believe, Spider-Man is going to split, and we're going to get a in-space version and a street-level version now, and it kind of explains that moving forward. I can't wait to pick up this issue. I can't wait to pick up this beautiful Lee Bermejo book. He's absolutely killing it on Spider-Man. Can't get enough of the Lee Bermejo covers. All right, now for our worst covers of the week. At number 5, we have this Adam Kubert all new Venom number 10. I don't like this cover. It just doesn't do anything for me. I do like the use of the black and the blues together, but the Venom eyes and just kind of like that blue radiating off of Mary Jane. Mary Jane has that dark eyeshadow on where it almost makes it look like she's evil. I feel like this cover would work if Mary Jane was evil, but Venom and Mary Jane in this book are not. They're kind of anti-heroes, or the Venom symbiote is usually an anti-hero, but maybe she's trying to make it more hero-esque in this book. I don't know. It just gives off weird vibes that doesn't really fit the narrative of the Mary Jane we get inside this book, or the Venom that we get inside this book, because the Venom in this book is more like father figure-ish and hero, not so much anti-hero and, going and doing normally what we're used to this Venom symbiote doing, kind of like what Eddie Brock and Carnage are doing right now. It's the complete opposite. I just feel like this cover doesn't really work depicting an evil Mary Jane in a lot of ways, and it just doesn't really fit tonally for me on the internal structure of the book. At number 4, we have this James Cregan retro Halloween mask variant. I just feel like these Halloween mask variants are a waste of a variant on this book. You could give it another artist a real shot or opportunity, like an up and comer, to do something on a Spider-Man book. To have just a generic cutout Spider-Man mask cover, it's kind of lame because what comic book cover or fan is really going to do this? I know it's a parody. I know it's all in for fun and you're not really expected to cut the mask out, but some people are going to want to. And I wouldn't be surprised if you start hearing horror stories in the internet comic book community about, oh, well, my kid got a hold of my issue 11 of Amazing Spider-Man and cut the mask out of it. Now what do I do? It's just kind of weird. It doesn't really work for me. It's kind of just a generic ploy here at feeling retro, kind of revisiting the past, and it's just something I'm not really into. Like I said, you could have given a new up and coming artist the option or a bit opportunity to work on this cover, but instead you're going to go with these just weird, wonky Spider-Man cutout mask stuff. And I feel like if it was October, cool, that's a little bit different, but we're in the beginning of September. Why are we doing October or Halloween-esque stuff now? I don't know. I'm one of those people that's not a huge fan of starting holidays super early just for the sake of starting it. And that's kind of the vibes I get from this cover. So like I said, it could have been used for up and coming artists that have something that they want to say, given a shot to break out on an Amazing Spider-Man, instead of giving it to these ridiculous retro Halloween masks type stuff. At number 3, we have this Riki Yagawa variant on Immortal War Exiles. I believe this is a one-shot or a one-off. I wish that this picture of Deathbird was a little bit more action-packed. I wish we could get Deathbird in action and actually her in the middle of a fight or some cool background, other than her just kind of standing there with her cape of feathers wrapped around here and that kind of off yellow background. It just feel like it's very simple. It's very safe. I would love to see it, especially on this cover, Blackbird in action with a nice action background, or just something other than this static yellow background as she sits there. So that's why this kind of made my worst covers of the week list at number 3. Coming in at number 2, we have Star Wars Legacy of Vader number 8, this Chris Sprouse Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary variant. Why does the Emperor and Yoda both look so bored? They're locked in this lightning battle, and it looks like there should be some intensity, some anger, some despair, just more emotion than just being like, what's up, bro? We're here. It's deadpan. Like, where's the emotion? There's nothing here that excites me. There's nothing here that jumps off the page. They want you to get this Revenge of the Sith-esque moment type deal. And you just don't feel it. There's nothing here. The Emperor doesn't look menacing. Or Yoda doesn't look menacing. They just both look bored. They look like they're bored, locked in combat out of sheer boredom. It doesn't do it for me. It's not exciting. I'm going to definitely pass on this book this week. I feel like this is nothing but a nostalgia reach, and they dropped the ball on it. And coming in at number 1 for our worst covers of the week list, we have this Raymond Rosanes Han Solo Hunt for the Falcon number 1. What? Who is that? Is that Han Solo? Is that supposed to be Harrison Ford? Doesn't look like Harrison Ford. It just looks, off. It looks like this knockoff Timu Billy D. Williams here is just staring longingly at this Harrison Ford-esque cosplayer. It's just kind of a bad cover. The best thing about this cover, in my opinion, is the Chewbacca. Everything else is left to be a work in progress. I'm not a big fan of it, so it got its worst covers of the week for me this week from Marvel. All right, that's it for Marvel. Now we're going to move into our independents this week, and our best covers of the week for our independents are going to kick off with the number 5 spot in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 11 in this Cover C Juan Ferreira variant. I love this mashup of April O'Neil and Casey Jones. April O'Neil has been on the absolute warpath in this book ever since Casey Jones was attacked and left in the hospital. We have one more issue after this before Juan Herrera's or Ferreira's, I should say, before Juan Ferreira's and Jason Aaron's time on this book comes to an end. I am absolutely devastated that's happening. It sucks that Jason Aaron is leaving after 12 issues, but maybe that has more to say about IDW and their ability to pay artists and creators the page count they're worth versus this creative team wanting to go and do something else. I know Jason Aaron's is juggling a lot, but his run on Turtles has been absolutely stellar. And when he brought Juan Ferreira in it took it to that next level. And Turtles has actually been one of the best books going right now. It's the one book that I am really excited to read every single month when it comes out. And hopefully it continues to do that. I have a little faith in the new creative team, but I am sad to see Jason Aaron's and Juan Ferreira leaving this book. I love the use of the pinks in the background that perfectly pop that yellow coat of April O'Neil mixed with the Casey Joe mask as she's holding the hockey stick, ready for battle. I can't wait to read this issue, and I love this cover so much. Coming in at number 4, we have Sisterhood, a Hyde Street story, number 3, cover B, German Peralta variant. I love this variant. I think it's really well done. I love kind of the use of the ghost underneath her in the rain screaming to get out, the ghost in the storefront screaming to get out, her looking sad and depressed as she's walking down the street, the rain. This is perfectly done. John Romita Jr. needs to take a page out of Peralta's book when it comes to drawing rain, and that it doesn't have to just be straight lines and a mass amount of them to get across the fact that it's raining. I love the reflections. I love the puddles. There's a lot of detail in this book. It is a beautiful, beautiful cover that I can't wait to own. Coming in number 3, we have The War, number 2. This cover D, 1 and 20, and Anwati Citria Virgin variant. I love this cover. I love kind of the baby being held there where you see the veins in the head and the cheeks with kind of like the blackness or running mascara of the mother's tears on the cheek of the baby, the representation of the mother's face with the hair engulfed in fire and flame behind it. I think it's an intriguing cover. It makes me want to really pick this book up at issue 2 and find out what's going on and possibly go back and get issue 1. It draws your attention to the cover. It makes you want to know what's going on in the interiors, and it really drives you to pick it up. I believe that this is a beautiful cover. I believe that this is a book that is going to stand out on the shelves from everything else that you're used to seeing. And I believe that it's definitely worth picking up. And I'm going to check it out. And, hopefully it gets me into The War. But I do really like this cover here a lot. Coming in at number 2, we have IDW's Star Trek Red Shirts number 2. This Chris Sheehan variant. This is interesting because this is like the perfect representation of what we've come to know of Star Trek, right? That running joke that red shirts always die. If your favorite character has a red shirt, they are doomed to meet their demise. And I feel like this represents that so well, as you have like this red shirt guy just waving high as he's being obliterated by a laser, and you see the skeleton there in the background. Beautiful, well done. It really runs with that running joke that red shirts always die, and I'm absolutely here for it. Red Shirts, Star Trek number 2 on our list this week. And coming in at number 1, we have the man Lee Bermejo again on this Cruel Universe. Love the color, love the astronaut fighting this giant monster. It's really well done. It feels very realistic, like a painting. It looks phenomenal and fantastic. Again, Lee Bermejo and absolutely killing it this year, along with a few others, like we said. Coming in at number 5 for our worst cover of the week comes to us from cover D, this Javier Rodriguez variant of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It looks like more like Teenage Mutant Ninja Frogs. If it wasn't for the turtle shells, you would think they were frog. Michelangelo looks like a frog here. He doesn't look like a turtle. It's very low-key, very cartoony. Doesn't really fit the tonal feel and story of what's going on in this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book right now on the interiors. But nevertheless, I think it's going to draw some people because it's how you maybe, if you're a fan of the Saturday morning cartoon series in comics or the cartoon itself, it kind of gives you that nostalgia feel of the cartoonish side of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But like I said, I don't feel like it works tonally for this book right now. So that's why it landed on the worst covers of the week for me on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Coming in number 4, we have this cover F Mannix Abrera variant on Silverhawks. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on with this cover. Why we have this like abstract just mess here. I don't know. Visually, it doesn't look great. It looks like his version of Lionel that he's drawn on the Thundercats in the Silverhawk book. Like maybe Dynamite mixed up the covers on this book. I don't know. I'm just not really feeling it. It's kind of all over the place for me. It doesn't really make sense and has me leave with more questions than answers. It doesn't really draw me to the book. It's not presenting the kind of questions that make you want to read the Silverhawks book and be like, what is this about? What's going on? It just leaves me tonally and visually confused and makes me want to move on to something else. At number 3, we have Artificial cover B 125 Jesus Orellana variant. The story is intriguing enough to where I'm going to pick up this book. I think I'm just going to pick up the A cover. I don't think I'm going to pick up this cover B, especially at a incentive, kind of this like dating AI type thing. I don't know. I'm interested by the synopsis that I read on it. I'll probably check it out, especially at a number 1, and that is an Image book. But I'm just not a big fan of Everybody Do the Duck Face cover is what I'm calling this. The War of Duck Face and Roses on this cover. Not a fan. Don't need it. Gonna just go with the A cover on this one, but it just landed on the number 3 spot. Coming in at number 2, we have Don't Run with Scissors from Keen Spot. And number 3, the Stefano Cordezelli variant, I guess, or cover. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what this is. It looks like this just giant abstract face with like these tentacles coming out of it, like thorn bushes with what looks like a buster sword or a sword going into the eye. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. It doesn't tell me what's going on in the book. It doesn't make me, the title Don't Run with Scissors, I don't feel like fits this. It just feels like this is all over the place. And again, it just makes me feel so uncertain that I'm not really sure that I want to give $5.99 to this book. So I'm just going to leave it on the shelf this week. And coming in at number 1 for our worst covers of the week, we have this Project Chimera, the Hero trade cover B, Raymond Villalobos variant. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is the finished product. This is just what's being depicted online. I'm not a big fan of the simplicity of this. That looks like kind of like a kid in art school did it. I don't know if this, like I said, if this is a final product or not, but this is what's being put out there. It's very rough, very unfinished. Looks like Jesse and James from Pokemon are being redrawn at the bottom there in pencil and filled in with colored pencil. Not great. Doesn't really sell me. And it is a bad idea book, but I'm just really not digging this cover, and it doesn't intrigue me to want to pick this up. So I feel like it fails to do its main job of what the cover is supposed to do and draw in readers. So I'm going to pass on that book this week. But that's it. That being said, that's all of our best and worst covers of the week. The comment section is open. The comment section is yours as always, as this is a community and a conversation. Let me know what you think are the best and worst covers this week, what your top 5 best and worst are. I can't wait to hear it. Let me know if maybe I got it right, what I got wrong, what I'm not thinking about. Like I said, the comment section is yours, and I am open to the conversation. But that'll do it for this week. Thank you so much for checking out another video. If you want more great content from me, you can check out one of the links here after my goofy face disappears, and enjoy all the content, whether it's comic book or pro wrestling or podcast related, that we offer on this channel. I appreciate you guys checking this video out each and every week, and we'll see you next time around the spinner rack.
In the shadows we gather.